A few days ago, I made this video detailing 10 out of 20 genius ways that Mark Cuban says that you should do with your money and provided my take on these ways. That video received such a tremendous response that I could not make a video about the remaining 10 ways that we did not talk about in our previous video. So this video breaks down ways 11 to 20 from the same article linked below, and we are starting right now. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to my channel. If you are a new viewer, you are watching Modest Millennial, where we talk about all things money that they don't teach you in school. So if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to the channel. Again, just to give you a quick background before we begin, Mark Cuban is an entrepreneur, billionaire with a net worth of roughly $4.3 billion, so I'm sure he knows a thing or two about money. He is also a sharp on the popular show Shark Tank and invests in smaller businesses to give them exposure and make money for his company at the same time. So I can assure you that most of these money strategies in this video are proven to work and provide with lasting results to help you get rich. Also, my previous video with the first 10 genius things to do with your money is linked in the description below, so make sure to check it out once you finish watching this video. The 11th genius thing that Mark Cuban says to do with your money is to have disciplined spending habits. No, this does not mean that you should be disciplined about spending money on Starbucks each day or even buying new clothes each month. Being disciplined with your spending habits has to do with creating a mindset around living with the least expenses possible. Sure, if you're splurging a few extra bucks to eat outside every once in a while, that may be okay, but for the most part, stick to a discipline of spending money as minimally as you can so that you have more money left over that you can invest instead. Of course, discipline is hard to cultivate and takes months worth of practice to perfect. But I promise that if you start now and see your money grow with investing instead, you will get a different kind of satisfaction from it that you normally won't get from spending money on frivolous things instead. The 12th genius thing that Mark Cuban says to do is to pay off credit cards within 30 days of using them or not use them at all. I kind of agree with this one. Definitely use credit cards because you can earn insane amount of credit card perks and points from using them. But at the same time, none of these points or cashback is worth paying ridiculous amounts of money in interest on each month. For example, I use the American Express Blue Cash Everyday card for pretty much everything. This gives me a 3% cashback on supermarket purchases up to $6,000 a year and 1% cashback on pretty much everything else. This provides insane value as it's almost like getting a discount on your purchases as long as you pay off the balance completely by the end of the month. The 13th thing from Mark Cuban is to pay off any debt you might have before investing money. We have talked about this in my previous video, but I believe not all debt is bad. For example, if you are currently able to get a mortgage at dirt cheap rates, say for 3 or 4% for example, I would not worry about paying it off in the slightest. Consumer debt such as credit cards or student loans, on the other hand, that charge ridiculous amounts in interest payments each month are a no-no and need to be paid off before investing your money. The money you will end up losing to interest payments will be much higher with these debts than the money you will make through investing. So be smart and go pay off that debt first. The 14th genius way to manage and save money is to negotiate using cash. This usually works with smaller businesses or places that are selling services such as gym instructions or guitar lessons. Try offering a lower price than asked, and chances are that they will take the lower offer. At the same time, don't be too greedy with this one. If you are getting value for what you are paying for, remember that somebody else is working very hard all their life to provide you these services, and that extra few bucks could really make a difference in the way they live. So it's probably not best to haggle with vendors always, as long as you are in a decent financial spot. The 15th genius thing is that books are always a good investment. I will make a separate video about this at some point, but investing in yourself in terms of good education and reading good books about the kind of things you like goes a long way. My MBA has been extremely beneficial to me in understanding how businesses work and how the economy works, and helps me make wise decisions about my money and my investments. If there was one book I would recommend out of all the ones I have used to hone my mindset, it would be The Intelligent Investor, linked in the description below. The 16th genius thing is to keep your money to yourself. This can be really broken down in two different ways. The first is in terms of giving to the society, with having no expectations of ever getting anything in return, or charity. Definitely indulge in charity as much as you can, but better your personal finances first. Don't be in a situation where you have a ton of debt, but you are still giving out thousands of dollars in charity every year. Get rid of your own debt first. Make sure your finances are on a good track first, and then help other people out. The second way is in terms of lending money to friends, family, and other people. with the expectation that your money will be paid back for at some point. And this can get tricky depending on who is asking for the money and how close of a relationship you share with them. So make sure to trade wisely on this one, as it is not always guaranteed that your money will certainly come back. The 17th genius thing to do is to not make rash decisions based on market fluctuations. Again, this one deserves a separate video of itself, as there are so many people out there with the mindset that once the market crashes, it's never going to recover. But just look at what the market has done over the past year. When the pandemic was first announced, the market dropped like a rock and sank 40%. But since then, it has recovered another 140% to date. Imagine selling all your investments out of fear when the market was negative, just to see it go back up significantly over the next year. Instead, always have cash on hand for short-term emergency expenses, and also to buy into the market when it's dropping to take advantage of discounted prices. The 18th genius thing to do is to not take bank loans. This one basically is the same as the 13th genius thing, which is to pay off all debt first. But this particular way is asking you to not go into debt at all and rely on cash on hand instead. Basically, the premise of this genius thing is to know what you can afford. You can afford something when you have the cash on hand to pay for it. If you have to put paying it off into the future or go into debt to buy something, you basically cannot afford it. That's it, as easy as it gets. There is no science behind this magic. Again, with this one, mortgage and car loan is a different story, but with that too, make sure to buy a decent home that you can afford to pay and not something that will quickly become a burden. With the car too, buy a used reliable car instead of buying a brand new one. Studies show that a brand new car loses up to 25% of its value as soon as it drives off the dealer lot. The 19th genius thing to do is use your money to buy time. Guys, this suggestion is the epitome of what financial independence is. This suggestion is why I'm so close to personal finance and constantly find ways to increase the amount of money I'm investing each month. Nobody likes to get up each morning just to realize that they now have to get ready and get back to work again. Day after day, month after month, year after year. Don't get me wrong, work can be fun, but you definitely do not want to be doing that for the rest of your life. There is more to life than just working, and you do not want your work to come in between you and the things you actually enjoy doing. Money is a great way that can help you free up more of your time from working and focusing on things that are actually enjoyable. When you have enough money, you can afford to take that much time for yourself confidently without fearing about paying bills each month. And that, my friends, is the most freeing feeling that you can ever experience. And finally, the 20th genius thing is to refinance debt when interest rates are low. There is no better time than now to talk about this one. We refinanced our mortgage last year and reduced our mortgage payment by $150 a month. You can do this with your mortgage too and increase your disposable income each month. Apart from that, if you have credit card debt, you can try consolidating that by borrowing a lower interest rate personal loan or doing a cash out refinance instead. That's all I have for this video, guys. Again, not a financial advisor, so talk to your investment advisor or your accountant before you act on these things. Thanks so much for tuning into this video. As always, make sure to subscribe to the channel and like this video below for more content on personal finance. If you are tired of just looking at this small frame in my videos, make sure to follow me on Instagram to see spicy insights of my personal life and how I save money pretty much on a daily basis. Alright, it's closing time and shut it down.